Thank you. Welcome, everyone. This is Kristen Webb, your leadership enthusiast with the Greater You Leadership Series, Lead the Way Wednesday, where we are hopefully getting you through your hump day and helping you make it through the rest of the week as you continue to lead. And today I like to use these following adjectives when I talk about these two gents: dynamic, instrumental, catalyst of progress and change, motivational, intelligent, resourceful. Never met a stranger. I don't think they've ever met a stranger. And lastly, they just straight up stand-up guys, like just awesome human beings. And today I have on with me Jeremy Calhoun and Alton with STS Enterprise Corporation. How are you all doing today, guys?
Man, happy to be here with the queen, man, with the boss lady, with the leadership guru.
You know what I'm saying? With the enthusiast. I love it.
Enthusiast.
Yes. So, as I told you guys, I just want you all to come on. I think you all are so amazing with your organization, and even just beyond the organization, I think you all are perfect examples or the epitome of what leadership is when we talk about selflessness and having vision and, being visionaries and being strategists all at the same time. I think y'all are amazing at it. So I guess let's kick it off and you all tell us a little bit about yourselves, about STS, whatever you all want to share. Go from there.
Alton, you want to go first?
You got it, boss.
All right, I go. I'm Jeremy Calhoun, 30 years old. By trade, I'm an IT project manager for a company here in Memphis called International Paper. By night, day, and weekend, I'm the president of STS Enterprise, which is a leadership development organization that works with high school and college students, where our goal is to create economic mobility for this next generation. I'm married. I love to see other people reach their potential. And I love working with people like Kristen Webb. I call her auntie, y'all. So if y'all hear me refer her to auntie, we go way back since 2011, 12. Somebody who really, played a huge role in my leadership style and how I operate, and I'm just blessed to be here. You could have told me in 2012 as an intern that 8 years later I'll be rocking with the enthusiast. I wouldn't have believed it. So I'm just grateful to be here and excited to talk about leadership.
Awesome. And look, I did point out, I said you're intelligent. You made sure you mentioned your wife, Sam. Shout out, Sam. Smart man always mentions the wife. Good job.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, she's the reason I'm smart. Look, she's the only reason why I'm smart. So, yeah. Shout out to the booth.
Man, let me tell you something. I swear, I ask my wife how to spell stuff all the time. Like, babe, how you spell this? Hey, what do you mean, babe?
So tell us a little bit about you, Alton.
Yeah. So, man, thank you so much for letting us have on your show, man. I think it's dope, man. I'm blessed. We blessed to be a part of the process. Alton, graduate, attended of Jackson State University, graduate of University of Memphis. By day, I am the business development officer for Orion Federal Credit Union. As Jeremy said, by night, weekend, and everything else, co-founder and executive director for STS Enterprise. Been there since inception and been rocking my dog since then. I'm also a realtor with Keller Williams. Been doing that for about 2 years now. Been blessed to do that. Real estate investor as well, new real estate investor. I'm a new dad. So my son, Caden Cryer, 6 months in, man, beautiful wife called Lisa Cryer, who also has a blog, LisaCryer.com. Shout out to my boo. And so, man, yeah, man, that's the lifestyle for me. And for me, it's all about service. In a sense, man, how do I serve the next person? How can I be a blessing to somebody else? And forward to the next generation, or just anybody else that needs that level of service, man. And so I thank my mom, my dad for teaching me that. I think that's where it comes in, and it's in my DNA to serve. So, but yeah, that's the outcome.
I love it. Alton, that was a mouthful. I didn't know you, well, I didn't know you do some of it, but like the real estate investment piece, I didn't know that. I'm like, okay, and the list goes on. It goes on and on. Yeah, so you're a man of many
Man,
talents.
I just want to say low key, man. I got like my dog said, moving silent. Me and Jared been moving silent for a while, so we try to keep it took, man. Keep it took, man. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So one other thing you mentioned in there, one of our core values is servant leadership. And so I heard service all throughout what you were mentioning at the end, Alton. I think that's so important when we talk about leaders, like being willing to serve, not just kind of stand, delegate, get all the shine, not be able to necessarily move in silence, but being authentically willing to serve, not just the people that are part of your organization, but the people they touch and so on and beyond. So awesome. So with that, I'd like to, at the very beginning, hopefully you hadn't thought about this one, give me one word to describe leadership and why.
Let's say servant.
Okay.
Alton, what you got?
Flexible.
Ooh. Oh, now, I will say, so take all these classes, all these different leadership courses, people don't really focus on flexibility, but it is so critical to be able to be willing to navigate and shift when necessary. So I do like that flexible. Is that why you said flexible, Alton? Or give me your
Yeah, man. I think, no, that's a good point. I really think about, and I don't mean to go church, but I really think about God, bro. Like, God really is flexible with us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's what grace is. And so I think it's unrealistic, man, to not have a level of flexibility or some type of grace amongst, someone that may be learning that you are leading. So, yeah.
Right. And don't apologize. Look, you rooted where you are, so no apologies on this podcast for that.
Oh yeah, so mine was servant. I think for me, being a servant leader is what it's all about. For me, it keeps the leader humble, keeps you grounded, because it's easy, like you said, to get the big head when the accolades come, when things go well. It's easy to think it's all about you, but, at the end of the day, like I tell people all the time, like STS wouldn't be what it is without, individuals like yourself, but we got over 80 volunteers that give, collectively, thousands of hours a year to impact our young people. And STS would not be what it is today without those individuals who are serving now and the ones that served in the past. And also, I don't think we would have kind of morphed or transitioned or transformed into the organization that we are today without the people that were there. And I think most people, when they talk about, Alton and myself, is that it's not the Alton and Jeremy show. We don't have all the brightest ideas. We don't make all the best decisions, but we get a lot of feedback. We listen to the people that are doing the work, and we value their opinions. And I think that's the part where, again, being a servant and making sure that your people got what they need to execute. So I'm gonna say I truly believe being a servant is a big part of leadership.
And I couldn't.
So when Jeremy, when you were talking, man, it really made me kind of think more deeply on the kind of flexibility or being adaptive. So I'm thinking about COVID-19 and how we literally have to shift everything that we had planned. We had to literally adapt to the environment that we're in right now. Mm-hmm. And I think about, God, he said recession proof. You know what I'm saying? He all he talked about was, man, I was able to adapt even though the economy changed. And so I think about that when I think about flexibility, when I think about being adaptive as a leader, you have to be able to adapt or be flexible with change. So, yeah.
Love it. And good point about COVID-19. Go ahead, Jim, what you saying?
Yeah. I think he said flexible, I think being flexible with your people. Like, cause I know going virtual is something that we've never done as an organization. But it's something that most people if we wouldn't really have a good eye or good ear to what our volunteers or members want, then we would have been trying to. I know me, I was trying to go in person. I'm like, Alton, we still got to go in person. Alton, like, hey, I don't think it's gonna work.
Jeremy, and have everybody really COVID-19.
you know, but you know, Jerry. Look, I was like, man, you know, we got to make sure, you know, that in-person connectivity, man. There's something about meeting in person, the energy, the vibes, and just being able to be in person and talk. And but again, that flexibility, as Alton mentioned, like that really, and I think it really gave us. I think we got more people on board. Like we've never onboarded. I think we onboarded this year over 40 new coaches. Like so, and I don't think that would have been possible if we would have did in person. So. Alton, what you said, flexibility, it really allowed us to take that next step as an organization as well.
So one thing you also mentioned, Jeremy, you were talking about, you know, you got your 80 coaches this year, your volunteers, you know, your 80 volunteers, which I think is absolutely amazing that you all have been able or have the ability to rally people to want to be selfless and give of their time. You know, they could be doing anything. I could have been asleep this morning, you know, they could, like for some of the parents, you know, even getting the parents involved, it's a big deal to make people motivated and want to be in a position to give and to serve. So how do you all keep folks motivated as leaders? How do you all do that? What's your secret sauce? I want to know.
I think most people have a desire to do great things, right? So most people have a desire to serve, to do something good, to live a good life, to see other people. Most people have a desire to see other people be successful. There's a small population that don't, right? And we ain't gonna talk about that. We're gonna leave them to the side. We ain't gonna get no into that.
Right. We ain't worried about
that. I think the thing about it is though is, you know, from a motivation standpoint, we value the people so much. It's almost like, hey, bro, like you doing this for other people. What can we do for you? Mm-hmm. So when you think about STS. You think about, you got so many entrepreneurs, you got other business owners, you got other people who have different other gigs. We got one young lady who got I think it's called libation. What is it? Books and libation. What Camille done, bro?
Yeah, books and libation.
It's like books and libation, right? And so she has an initiative where she bring together people for a book club. And the fact that you're gonna support her initiative, she's like, bro, why shouldn't I rock with these folks? You know what I'm saying? So for us is how do we add value to the people who are adding value to our population or our young people. And that's through supporting somebody's business and say, look, hey, you cook food. Hey, look, we're going to let you sponsor. We're going to let you cook the food for all of our events. Or somebody that they have a certain business, we're going to shop with you. You got to close the business. Okay, look, let's shop through your business, things of that nature. And so I think that's the aspect that keeps people motivated is not only, it's not just for you, but you're adding value to their life in some way, form, or fashion.
Mm-hmm. I heard circular giving, which is, man, that's pretty hot. Circular giving. I like it. Jeremy, what you got? I hear you.
Yeah. So to me, I think what Alton said, like that's the area where, you know, we give to we always tell people when they come on, it got to be a two-way street. Like we don't believe in these one-way relationships. Like it just don't work. Like, you know, we liken it to going down the road. And it's a one-way street. It get boring. You don't got nothing to keep you focused. You know, you just locked in on the road. But anytime it's a two-way street, you know, you get a chance to be more engaged. So for us, it's a couple of things. You know, I think one is, you know, our mission that we're working with and the group that we work with. You know, I think it brings a bit of it hits home for a lot of people. You know, growing up as a young person. All the things you wish you would have known, you know. So I think that's the first thing that, you know, attracts people to get involved with STS. It's because they think about the stuff that they wish they would have knew as a you know, adolescent or as a young teen or as a college student. You know, and they're like, man, if I would have knew what I knew now, you know, I would be probably in a whole different space. So I think one, knowing the ability, that they got the ability and the opportunity to make an impact on somebody. But I think what even kind of makes it hit home more is that you get a chance to work with black and brown boys and girls. And I think that's the game changer. Like I think a lot of times, especially in our society and in our culture, you know, we got a lot of great teachers. You know, people that put us on game. But some of my best mentors aren't black. You know, but there's also that piece of me that wants that black mentor that kind of helps me. That kind of can make everything. I don't have to second guess. I don't have to say, man, do it work for just them, or can that work for me as well? So I think the fact that our coaches and our members, they get a chance to work with kids from similar backgrounds, similar economic situations, similar neighborhoods. You know, I think that's a game changer because you literally see yourself in those kids. And then the last but not least, I think this is our game changer. It's career-driven volunteering. Everything we do, we try to tie it to a person's career because we solely believe that you can't get everything you need at your job. So how do you get it somewhere else? You have to go volunteer. You have to, engage in other activities to get those skill sets. Right. So we literally put people in jobs that are tied to their role. So for example, for my team with STS Elite, I got a young lady that wants to be a dean of students, right? Her name is Sierra Ship. She's right now going to get her PhD in education, but she's our dean of students for STS Elite, right? And so now when it's time for her to, once she gets her education and that part together, she's gonna have 3 to 4 years of experience of a dean of students, and she working with just as many kids as she'll work with at a small private college, right? Yeah. She's working with 50 to 60 to 100 college students at a time, doing the same thing that we take job descriptions and match them up. Of course, we adjust them a little bit because she can do the whole 40 hours, but she's gonna have a variety of experiences that she can lean back on to let the next person know that when she's applying for that job, that, hey, I have the experience. And for me, I think that's the biggest game changer is that when you bring all those three together, you're working with young people, you work with young people that look like you, and then we're also giving you a way to develop your skill set for your professional growth. Is a game changer.
Yeah, I love it. All I kept hearing, while, we were talking about how do you keep people motivated in this circular giving, like, y'all are strategists. I don't know if y'all want to put that on your belt, but y'all are absolute strategists to be able to see all the moving parts and all of the potential gaps and to be able to fill them in a way that really, really maximizes and capitalizes on somebody's ability to move forward. I think that's awesome. So thank you for sharing that one, Jeremy. So let's take it back a little bit. Let's go back to, I don't know, adolescent. Have y'all always considered yourself a leader? Like, when was that moment that you were like, you know what, I think I'm leading people, whether formally or informally, but what have you always seen yourself as a leader? And if so, when was that? Yeah.
So I say for me, I didn't come into the idea of, I saw remnants of leadership. Let me say that. So I saw remnants of it, and I feel like it didn't come to realization until I was about 21 or 22. Okay. All right. So the first time I experienced leadership is when, I had been working all summer. Cutting grass. I thought about 12. I started working. I was 11 years old, 11, 12, cutting grass. And so I've been working all summer, 12, 13 years old, cutting grass, this, that, another. And I had saved up a little bit of money, right? And a situation came up, and shoot, man, mom needed that done, like for Christmas. And so I literally gave all my savings to my mom to help with Christmas. And so, that's where, in a sense, I saw leadership, remnants of it when I was a young age. Another time was when I was in high school, football player for Ridgeway. Man, we were 5 and 6, man. I ain't gonna lie, it was a little difficult year. We had transition. It was a difficult year for us. And we had played our last game. And we were in the locker room putting up all of our equipment back up. Like, you putting it up for the year. It's really over with. So I seen you. And I was like, y'all, it ain't over with. We gonna get in the playoffs. And like, it was like, bro, it's over with, bro. We putting our stuff up. Ain't no more. Like, it's over with. It's rap. I was like, nah, I'm telling y'all, bro, something's gonna happen, and we gonna get in the playoffs. Lo and behold, Bartlett High School got disqualified because one of their football players got disqualified for something. I think he was too old to be playing. They disqualified him, and guess who was up next? Ridgeway. And so we literally played. Now we played White Haven, and White Haven spanked us in the playoffs, dog. Like, we just spanked us. But the fact that, and then when people were like, "Dang, bro, you was right, bro. All we had to do was believe." And so there was the next piece of it. and I think the last at 21 years old, when I really felt like I was a true leader, was when we were empowering young people in Cummins in South Memphis. This ain't we ain't got no accolades, we ain't got no awards, like we ain't got none of that. But you had these young kids from South Memphis valuing you as a college student, and you helping them become a better person. Mm-hmm. That one, like, okay, God, okay, you really do got me. Okay, I'm a leader for real. Like, let me take this serious. And so for me, that's what when I knew, in a sense, leadership was something that was innate in me. So yeah,
I love it. I'm stuck on the cutting the grass, like, and I guess like what's so significant to me is like what you said. Leadership exists in even the smallest ways that we don't even think about. You're cutting grass to save money to end up helping to nurture your family. That's leadership if nothing else. And we don't think about it all the time. And we really need to consider those moments where we are stepping up to the plate and we're offering and creating a vision and creating, success. So Jeremy, what you got? I'm ready to hear what you got. What you got?
No, I'm just laughing at Alton when he said the Cummins. Like, I don't think people really know the impact we had at that school. Like, literally, it was about 10 students. These folks would not talk to no teachers, advisors, principals, unless we came to the school. Like, they would not, like, I don't want to talk to nobody until Mr. Jeremy and Mr. Alton come.
Wow.
We'll bring them out the classroom. They'll tell us what's going on. I'm doing this, and we'll challenge them. Like, okay, my teacher don't like me, and but what you do? Man, Mr. Alton, but what you do though? I'm gonna do better. And we had this saying. What was it, Alton? It was we do this, we did that, we said the house. And like every day we used to have a.
That was the first
creed. a little shorter. Look. and I remember, man, like these students literally would not come out the classroom, and it was amazing. We saw one of the young ladies working at Chick-fil-A, and she saw us and she just started spazzing out. We're like, oh snap, like what's going on? And she's like, Mr. Jeremy, y'all remember me? And we're like, oh yeah, we do remember you from Cummins. And the first thing she said was, we do this, we did that. We said this, did how. I'm still living by that today. And it's like, I'm going to college, I'm doing this. And I know for me, I was like, I'm about to tears down. I'm like, golly, like you never know who you impact. So that, just when you said that, Alton, I just remember, like, them kids would not come out that classroom for none of those teachers. Like, I don't fool with them. So, but for me, as it relates to leadership, man, I feel like for me, it was always there. I didn't have a choice. So, my background is, I tell people I'm a product of a statistic. Mama had me at 16 years old, teenage mom, and my dad was a dope boy. Man, he 18 felonies. So when my dad came out after he went on his vacation, as my mama told me he was on vacation. When he came back, coming back from prison, blackmail, did everything you could think of, got shot in the neck, did the drug game. His whole thing was, man, I'm raising my son to be a leader, to be a family man, and to be a one woman, and to be a husband. I mean, a husband, a father, and a man. And so his thing was from day one, hey, waking up, hey, I'm a leader, not a follower. I'm a leader, not a follower. So for me, it was drilled into me from the time I was 7, from the time I got home when I was 7 to then on, right? And in addition to him telling me that, I had traits that I believe that leaders have. One, I had a personality. I was always a class clown, athletic, always trying to have fun. So that kind of helped me stand out a little bit. But more importantly, I think influence. I think most leaders have influence, right? Mm-hmm. So I think for me to be able to, to influence my peers to do this or that. And I think then once you start realizing, like, oh, snap, like if I do this, then this gonna happen. If I do this, I can get the whole team to do it. So I think realizing that I had the potential and that I had the leadership inside of me, it just naturally rolled out. And then from that point on, I for me personally, I feel like I've been a leader my whole life. It's just been trial and error, but I'm learning the way to be the right type of leader. Because at first I was the leader that you gonna know it. I'm loud.
Mm.
I'm always got something to say. You know, I got an answer for everything, and I lost out on so many opportunities. You know, because I don't think I was leading the right way. But then when I got with Alton, we started doing things a little different. And I think that's really when leadership, like he said, when leadership in the right way started coming out. And now we're like, man, this is the game changer. Like, this is the right way to lead when we start seeing different results. So
I love it. I think the one of the biggest things I got from what you were talking about is that, you know, a lot of times, I know for me, when I was younger, I always looked at leaders as like the folks that were all gray haired and, you know, kind of older in my mind. And I never felt like, you know, leaders existed in the younger ages. But what I hear is that it truly is a growing process. You know, you were probably a less effective leader, you know, but as we grow and we are willing to shift, then we become more effective in our leadership. So I definitely heard that story there, but that's hot. I can appreciate that you saw it at 7 years old, whether it was forced on you or not. You know, you know, and I'm sure there were times you rejected it, you know, even though you had to learn to embrace it, because it sounded like your dad said you didn't have a choice. But
oh yeah,
you know, but I think it's
man,
important that
tough.
we embrace that. I always tell the story when I was, I think, 7 years old or in the second grade, my elementary teacher, she pulls me to the side because we were all in this little group. And she's like, Kristen, if you be quiet, the rest of them will be quiet. But I felt like I was just over there amongst them, you know, laughing and joking. I didn't feel like I was the leader. But when you talk about influence, it was the first time I realized, like, okay, maybe I am doing something. But I didn't take that moment and actualize it that way until like my late 20s. And I was like, oh, so I have been doing something like leadership, you know, for a long time. And I think it's important that we embrace it and try to nurture it, just polish it up more and more, so that we can be the most effective at it. So not bad, not bad. Yeah. I love it. So I was going to ask, what leadership skill do you all think is lacking in today's society? Is it different than service to you? Mm-hmm. I know you all said service is, you know, that way you would define leadership. And then I know you said flexibility, but you said service earlier, Jeremy. Would you say that's the skill that's lacking in leadership today?
Nah, I don't think that. To me, I think, man, just to keep it 100, I think, man, humility. I think humility is lacking, and I think selflessness is lacking. Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna lie, I rarely find people who do stuff just to do it. Like, it's always a reason behind what they do, you know. And I think if more people moved with humility and it didn't always make it about me. Mm-hmm. And if everything wasn't a show to do the next thing, and I may get in trouble, but man, that's Memphis all day. You know, we talk about leadership in Memphis, like, you know, hey man, I'm gonna take this picture real quick. Let me go ahead and do. It's all about the show and and to me that's the. But I think just overall, our society, we such a look at me now type society. That I think that's one of the things that's missing is the humility, and really, it really ain't about me. Like, it really is not about Jeremy, it's not about Alton, it's not about Kristen. It's about the people that's really gonna come, because you're gonna be good regardless, right? But there's people who come behind you who they gonna take what you say is gold, and they may hit a brick wall, right? You know, so I think, man, you know, those two things, in my opinion, are the things that's missing the most.
I love it. I never thought about humility. What you got, Alton?
Yeah, I love that, man. I think Jeremy, I ain't gonna lie, I feel like that's something that, and I think the humility, don't get it twisted, like, bro, we ain't the golden child. We by far perfect. You feel what I'm saying? We just trying to progress in it. And I think humility and selflessness has protected us from more pitfalls than if we were arrogant and we feel like we knew it all. We missed a lot of pitfalls because we were humble, because we were selfless, and we thank God for that. I think really, honestly, what's missing in leadership today is young people realizing their potential or purpose now. And the reason why I say is because a lot of times, bro, a lot of these young people, and sometimes people in general, like, they are natural leaders. Like, but I think not understanding that they do have value, not understanding the true purpose, or understanding that what they do is meaningful, I think that eliminates the idea of leadership out their head. right? And I think that's the piece that I think people are missing is that, man, bro, you are a leader, bro. So if you are a leader, that means that I have to watch what I do now. I have to make better decisions now. I have to consider the next person, which is like a snowball effect. And so I think that's the thing that's missing is that whether society calls you a leader or not, whether you are being recognized as a leader or not, like if you see yourself as a leader, the byproduct of that is you doing things a lot different. It's the byproduct is you being selfless. The byproduct is you showing other people that they're valuable. The byproduct is so many other great things. And so I think one of the pieces is recognize that you are a leader, and then hopefully that, in a sense, changes your actions and your behavior.
It heightens your responsibility. For me, shoot, I know, Alton, you might be able to attest to this. You got a kid now, you know. For me, my 13-year-old, she absolutely made me realize the level of responsibility, and I had to become more selfless. And I just started moving different because I owed it to her to make sure she navigated properly. You know, I had to lead differently because of her, you know. So I absolutely consider that on a personal note. Yeah.
Auntie, let me tell you something, man. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like when we first started working with young people at 20, I remember we were sitting in one of our partners' house, and we were working with young people this time. We were working with young people this time. STS wasn't it for when we were working with young people. So I was literally sitting on these folks' couch, bro, smoking a blunt, and I had an epiphany. God was like, "So how in the world you trying to empower young people, and you smoking a blunt and you doing this, that, and another?" And I literally just put the blunt down, like, okay, all right. And so I feel like, I really believe, like, that's why it's so important sometimes you get involved in organizations and nonprofits that's doing some of this work early, because it enables your leadership before you even have kids, possibly, right? Because now you're responsible for somebody's child. You're responsible for empowering somebody's child, right? And now they look at your actions as either I'm gonna do it, or I'm not gonna do it based off of what my mentor may do, or my dad may do, or my mom may do.
Right.
And me and Jeremy, we were gonna do this. We're gonna do this conversation called DNA. And what you call it, Jeremy? Like what you call it? Dang, not again. Yeah, dang, not again.
Yeah, dang, not again.
It's like dang, not again. It's like, and we're gonna try to find the other side. The positive side is that sometimes what's in your DNA was caused by the person that was before you. So in a sense, if you were led by somebody to do this, you're going to do it because it's in your DNA, because you were led by that person to do it. You get what I'm saying? And so we really got to think about that from that standpoint is, again, we really believe that if you start seeing yourself as a leader, you start leading other individuals or influencing other individuals, you still start to see that responsibility of a leader, and hopefully change starts to happen. So.
Right.
Hey, Alto. Hey, let's see. So it's something that, you know, I want to piggyback on something Alton said. You know, and Alto, I know you probably remember this, but I think leadership is intentional too. Like I think intentionality is a big part of it. So a lot of people don't. I don't think we tell this story enough. But so when me and Alton first, like after we was on the couch in the mall, you know, I was a drinker. I ain't smoke. So after we in there, we doing our thing, man. You know, and we like, damn, bro, we gotta do something different. We tripping, right? Me and Alton in August of 2012. SCS started in December 2012. In August 2012, me and Alton, we went on the fast, right? So 2012, we are 21 years old. No, 22, how old are we? 22, Alton? Yeah, 22 years old, juniors in college. And we make a pact. We like, all right, for the next month, for the next 30 days, we're not going to smoke. We're not going to drink. We're not going to have sex. We're not going to no clubs, no video games, anything that provided pleasure to the flesh, right? We said we going to cut all that out for 30 days. Now, initially, when we said 30, first we said a week, right? And it was like, man, dude, like, now I got to do it for like 30 days. Right. That's how you build a habit. And man, our probably was like, bro, we finna die. Like, we think we 22 years in the heart of college. Like, this way you gonna be living your best life.
Not death.
And yeah, I thought, man, look, I told her we gonna die. You know, I'm dramatic. So she like, bro, chill out. I'm like, bro, we gonna die. Like, we ain't gonna make it. And for a month, for the whole month of August of 2012, We cut all that out and just focused on what God placed in our hand. And literally, that's how the name STS came about. That's how our models came about. But God, like, really transformed our life because we were very intentional about what we weren't going to do. And in that intentionality, like, again, with leadership, I remember there were times me and Alton made pacts, like, hey, bro, if you get this award, if we get this award, we not saying nothing about it. Hey, bro, if we do this, like, this is how we're going to respond. You know, if you get an award, like, bro, you don't need to be exalting yourself. Like, let somebody else exalt you. So I'm gonna be your biggest cheerleader on this end, but you don't need to say nothing. And, like, I think we were very intentional about making sure the leadership that we had wasn't flawed, right? And like Alton said, it got us in so many doors because we weren't flash. We weren't always making it about us. So I think, you know, in that selflessness and influence, and I think intentionality is so important because I remember the time when me and Alton, we said, like, we didn't make any excuses. I don't care if we meeting with a student. Like, I mean, we had agendas, and we used to always have to prepare for our meetings, like create PowerPoints. And I remember if anything small was off, we'll get on each other's head. And because he'll make a presentation, I'll make one. It's just so we could develop our skill sets and together. Because we didn't want one person getting all the skills and the other person, now you're dependent, so we had to do it together. And I remember we said, bro, like, if we don't take the small client seriously, what happens when we get to the big person? Like if we miss this meeting, yeah, it's our friend, but if we miss this one, what's gonna happen? We'll miss the big meeting. And now, like, we done had meetings with millionaires. Like, we in the room, like, oh snap, how we get here? You know, and it all started out with the intentionality of taking everything serious. And as the Bible said, you know, don't despise the day of small beginnings. So I think for us, intentionality was huge and not making no excuses.
My listening audience, I think one of the things I forgot to say at the beginning is that these are God-fearing men. Like, I know we didn't start out down that path, but it resonates so in the success, or, you know, even in just meeting the goals that y'all have been trying to meet. And I'm over here like with chill bumps, listening to the stories and the journey and how you all got there. And I'll even go back to y'all being strategic. Like, everything y'all are, like you said, just intentional, giving like really full comprehensive thought to every step that you make as a leader. And I love it. The big, the small, making sure you're paying attention to everyone, regardless of, you know, where you think they're going to move you next. You know, I love it. Just completely selfless and authentic. One thing you did make me think about, and I know we're getting close to time, but y'all just making me come up with more questions. So, formal development as a leader, how important is that? And what have you all done to kind of keep sharpening your tool? You know, if it's mentorship, if it's a program, what have you all done along the path to kind of make sure that you're staying sharp and continue to be effective leaders?
Yeah, so I think it starts with, so we're blessed that literally we have to enact, or we have to do leadership every day. So by having an organization and being the president, Jeremy's the president, executive director, like, you literally have program directors, volunteers, under your leadership. And so with that being said, you literally have to operate within leadership every day. But from a formal standpoint, I know me personally, man, I seen Jeremy videos on YouTube all the time. So, like, for example, Eric Thomas, like, that's one of my favorite, like, speakers, mentors, like virtual mentors. Like, that's my guy. And I listen to a lot of videos on YouTube about leadership. I don't read as often. I'm more of a podcast person, more of a podcast. I do read. I won't say I don't read that, but I'm more of a podcast person. From a leadership standpoint, how to sharpen your skills. I listen to a lot of sermons as well, because I really believe that, like, I don't mean to be, but like, the Bible has some of the best leaders in it that you can ever read about, right? Like, it literally has some of the best individuals. Like, you got one of the greatest leaders that ever walked the earth in the dirt, Jesus. And so with that being said, like, I listen to a lot of ministers as well. But I was blessed to join a few programs. We were in New Memphis. New Memphis provided, understanding your personality and networking with other individuals. I joined Leadership Memphis while I was in college. That was a blessing. And being able to be a college student in the midst of professionals. And even some of the professionals that were in my class, then now they're on our board. And so that leadership Memphis piece of kind of understanding the dynamic of Memphis and certain relationships and certain things that need to be done in the city and being intentional, being solution oriented about our city. I was blessed to join Nexus, which is a leadership program, where I met my mentor, Joe Williams. That was a great program where it talked about different skills that you need to have from a communication standpoint, critical thinking, solution oriented, economic development, right? And it brought different people in, and that created another relationship there. And so joining those programs have been a blessing. They've all had their place in in a sense, my development from a formal leadership standpoint. But ongoing, I ain't gonna lie, man, it's been YouTube shouted. Like, it's been YouTube University. Like, just get plugged in. I'm always watching different videos, learning whether it's from a leadership standpoint, from a real estate standpoint, from a ministry standpoint. Like, that's consistent. So that's the continued leadership that I've experienced. So.
The ongoing learner. Perfect. What you got, Jay?
Yeah. Nah, I think everything Alton said, one thing y'all see about me and Alton, we try to move together. Like if I don't do it, he ain't doing it. If he ain't doing it, I ain't doing it. That's one thing we realized early as leaders is that, man, people gonna intentionally try to break us up. Like, just being real. We had those conversations like, hey, like, you got two young black men, so eventually somebody gonna say, hey, man, in order for you to come this way, I need you to go ahead, but you ain't gonna be able to bring your partner with you. And we made a pact like that ain't the case. So y'all will see anything that Alton does, I'm gonna dang to be doing the same thing. If I ain't doing it right when he do it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna soon be behind him, and then vice versa. So everything that he mentioned is good. I think a couple of things that we did also, I think, was mentors, getting mentors. So one thing we talked about when we first started STS is being very intentional about our mentors. And it's easy to just go say, okay, hey, I want a black male as a mentor. But one thing me and Alton sat down, we said, hey, we need mentors. We need a diverse group of mentors. So I need a black male, a white female, somebody of a different ethnic group, a spiritual mentor. So we really sat down and identified individuals who can serve as different mentors to give us perspective, right? So I think that was some of the formal things. So he mentioned like Joe Williams and like Jeremy Park. Like for me, one of my mentors, Craig Simon, who's with FedEx, and JT Malazari. Like those two individuals gave me a different perspective that I never, like, they were doing stuff that I ain't even know existed. So I think the formal mentorship the formal development was the mentors. I think going to conferences. I know we went to the conference in DC. We went to like any conference that was going on here in Memphis. Leadership Works conference. We always go just to take notes. One thing we always did, we take notes. Like we'll come back with a notepad full of notes and we'll compare them. Like, okay, what you got? And we'll literally have discussions around these things. I think having the ability to serve, like, one thing to get the theory side of leadership. It's another thing to get the practical side of leadership. So I know for me, being able to be on the countywide juvenile justice consortium, I got a chance to talk to people like the Department of Justice in DC. Like, I'm the younger person at the table, but I got a voice at the table. Like, and I think embracing those small leadership opportunities, work with the Mayorship Professionals Council. I think those are some former leadership things, in addition to what Alton mentioned, that we both did, to grow our leadership. And it really, it gives you a different perspective when you're sitting at the table versus the theory side of what leadership is and what you need to do, and then the practical side of it. Those are some things that really changed the game for us, hands down.
I'm over here.
If I can be honest, like, I'm gonna keep 1,000. I ain't gonna lie. I literally get to work next to one of the most fearless leaders you ever seen in your life. Like I ain't gonna, like, this ain't no, like, we ain't on that, like, we ain't on that face though. Like, Jeremy is one of the most coldest leaders that you'll ever meet. I literally get to walk by this man every single day. And so we talk about practical leadership. You get to literally see one of the best leaders from a leadership standpoint that you've ever met before. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that the other programs weren't valued, and I'm grateful for a number of different mentors, things of nature. But I literally get to walk day by day in the life, not only just in work, but the life of one of my best friends, but one also a leader and my leader. You know what I'm saying? So I think, like, when you talk about learning from a leadership standpoint, that's the best thing you can ever have. So I don't know if anybody ever got a person like that in their life. You can walk day by day, step by step throughout their life, but that's a game changer for me.
That's awesome. And you're right, Alton. Most people, you know, even I probably should brainstorm on that, but to have somebody 24/7 almost sounds like, you know, that you kind of get to walk along and not, what I want to say, not arguably, absolutely Jeremy is that, you know, he is a phenomenal leader, but to be able to embrace that, understand it, and to have that. And then even for you, Alton, I think Jeremy would, you know, agree without me. I'm just making it the point.
Hey, look,
it's like, look, it's two phenomenal leaders walking with each other every day. Like, on the flyer, it even says the duo, you know, duo leadership. Like, y'all are, I don't know, y'all are just phenomenal the way you all are able to lead and feed off of each other's power, you know? Like, yeah, I don't know.
Man, Auntie, this man done saved me so many times. Like he said, like, sometimes when you fearless, like, as he mentioned, I may be fearless, but sometimes you don't be thinking, right? You don't be thinking. And there'll be many times where Alton be like, hey, Jay, not right now. You know, and like he had to pull me back, because if it was up to me, I would have dropped the ball on some things that would have turned out to be game changers for us. Mm-hmm. But again, it's being able to willing to trust that your partner, man, he got the same best interest as you, and being able to listen. Mm-hmm. So I may have been the fearless one, but somebody gotta have the right mind and gotta be focused and say, okay, hey, it's something over here that we gotta pay attention to. And I think, you know, that's where for us, we complement each other so well. Mm-hmm. It's because I'm not like, I probably say let's go with it, but he gonna be thinking, all right, but like why we doing this though? Like, and it go hand in hand. And now what I see now, honestly, is, you know, and I think this is gonna be the new journey for us. Is that now I see our roles as leaders as changing, right? I think I was fearless when we first started, and I think I still have a level of fearlessness. But I'm a calculated risk taker. Like, I process everything. I'm very strategic. Like, okay, if we do this, what's the cause and effect? But now I see Alton as the person that's risk taker. Like, even with the real estate, you know what I'm saying? Like he'll say, hey, Jay, man, we're gonna do this right. I'm like, man, how this shit's gonna work? Hey, man, let's just do it. You know. So now he's becoming the person that's leading out in the front, and I can literally see us swapping roles. Like, now I'm the person that when he's the one that's in the front leading, I'm the one that's in the back, and I'm learning my role now to figure, okay, what's my role in this thing? And I think in life, as we continue to live this life together, we're gonna constantly switch and evolve. But I think it's gonna only make us better. But absolutely, that Alton cry, I tell people all the time, like, this the most selfless dude. Like, he do stuff as a leader that I ain't never seen. Like. He be on some crazy stuff. Like, bro, I don't think we're supposed to be doing that. There ain't nothing illegal, but like just he want to be a blessing. Like, if he's leading something and it don't work out, like, it impacts him. He can't go to sleep. He can't work. Like, he ain't just chalking it up and say, all right, man, we'll get to it now. It impacts his whole, and he trying to figure, okay, how we gonna fix this? Like, just a small example. I don't want to take up too much time on the show. But I remember when we were buying my house, of course, my real estate agent. And I remember, like, some things weren't going good. And I'm like, hey, but we need to be pressing the needle. And the fact that things weren't going right, it seemed like it wasn't going right because it was all going according to the plan. But, like, this man literally could not sleep. Like, he was like, man, Jay, man, and he was just going above and beyond as my friend to make sure we got the house. Like, doing things, like, of course, doing things within reason, but not taking no for an answer. Doing things to make sure my wife felt comfortable. And we best friends. Like, all of us rock together. Like, that's the type of person you got as a leader. And if he'll do that for somebody who he can easily say, hey, bro, you know, they're crucial. What he'll do for the person who he don't know and he really want to make sure they get a good experience, right? So, man, my guy, he I can literally see the roles flipping. Is all I'm trying to say, and I can't wait to kind of see where he take us moving forward.
Yeah, y'all are absolutely living leadership. You know, it's not a moment in time. It doesn't sound like y'all cut off. You know, time you turn the light off at night. You know, and that's it. Or you walk in your house and close the door, and that's it. Y'all are absolutely living leadership authentically every day. Absolutely. So I'm gonna just go with my last question. Like, what do you all want to leave for the listeners? You know, well, I got one more question after this, but what do you all want to leave for the listeners as pertains to leadership? Like, if I had to, I mean, first of all, I have like 2 pages worth of notes over here behind y'all. So I got plenty of nuggets, but what's another nugget or something you all want us to walk away with surrounding leadership?
A nugget.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I want to make sure. Yeah.
So I'll leave it with 2 things.
You got it, bro.
I think I'll say the first one, you know, try Jesus. You know, and I know there's a song that say, "Try Jesus, don't try me," because I throw them hands, right? But I honestly believe that none of the stuff that the favor that God has over our life wouldn't be possible without our relationship with God. Like, investing the time, you know. We used to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning at Starbucks, and the first thing we do before we get started is read our word. Read the word, what's our takeaways, keeping God first. So I think as a leader, there's gonna be situations every day that you in your as an individual you can't find the answer to. But you're gonna have to be able to pray, ask God for direction, and He's gonna drop wisdom on you that's gonna allow you to figure out how to navigate that situation. So the Bible says, "He that asks for wisdom, ask for it, and He'll give it to you." So I think one, that relationship with God and Jesus, man, making sure that that's on point. Then I think, man, never something that my wife always tells me is in leadership, man, just pray you never feel it. Like, pray you never feel the awards, the recognition, the accolades, because once you start to feel it, it can potentially turn into something. It can potentially become into an addiction that where it's all about the accolades now. It's less about impact, but more about how it's presented. So, you know, one thing, the 2 that I would say is have a relationship with God. Make sure that if you need wisdom, ask for it, and just pray you never feel the success that God's gonna give you. Because a lot of times people see they feel it, and they never return back to where they were. So those would be my two nuggets.
And I love them both. Well,
Come on now, I hear the voice.
Hey, she can sing too, Alton. Hey, she can sing too. For real.
Like, I love that note. I love that ending, for real. Alton, do you have anything, or you kind of in the same boat with Jeremy? What?
Yeah, definitely not. I think from a try Jesus. I ain't gonna lie, bro. And I ain't gonna lie. Not only just try, but obedience though. Like follow the plan. You know what I mean? I think if you can understand the relationship with God, and then also the steps that He encouraged you to do, I think that'll be a game changer for you. And I think the next thing is add value. Don't add value to somebody else's life, whatever it is, and don't worry about what you're gonna get from it. Like, if you just add value to whatever situation, whatever person, whatever business, the results are gonna be beneficial to you regardless. And so I think you kind of mentioned in the beginning is that, man, a lot of times, bro, you do something with the intentions of getting something back. And unfortunately, like, you really miss out on your true blessing because you think you already got in your mind what the result gonna be. Oh, this one gonna get back something. Like, don't worry about that. You just worry about adding value, and don't you minimize. And I heard a pastor say the other day, our greatest thing that we can imagine for our life is the smallest thing to God. in the sense of what he's able to do.
Mm.
And I think don't minimize your blessing because you feel like this is what it should be, not knowing that God got something way greater that you couldn't even imagine. And I think that's the result of STS, what we see. Like, we just did STS, like, straight on for passion, of heart, still ain't getting paid today. And not in the sense of that's like, oh, we still ain't getting paid. Nah, it's like, we still have the same passion that we had since day one. Mm-hmm. Now, we don't wake up at 5 o'clock like we used to no more. We got to work on that. but the heart is still there. You know what I mean? And so we literally So literally 8 years of free work has blessed us with countless relationships, priceless relationships, opportunities from a money from a financial standpoint, and all this was strictly for free. Mm. Like, and so we never received anything financial back from STS, but the other areas that God has overflowed us in has weighed what STS could ever pay us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if I just say, man, of course, have a relationship with God, don't have a relationship with him. Don't just be his friend, but do what he tells you to do. And then last but not least, man, add value. Yeah.
I love it.
Hey, Auntie, there was this quote that says, it was by James Keller. It says, a candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. Mm. All right. Mm. And I think, I think it's self-explanatory. A candle loses nothing when it lights another one. Yeah. And I know for me and Alton, one thing we always said was, it's a lifestyle. Now, we tried the double life thing and have one way on social media, another way, and it just don't flow the same. Like, it'll hit the same.
And you stretch yourself thin trying to be two-faced like that, you get burned out and you're not effective in either realm, on both sides.
Either.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I love it. Y'all have been amazing. I'm telling y'all. Okay, so to my listeners, I talk to Jeremy a lot. He's my mentor. He probably don't like me saying that, but he's my business mentor. Right. I talk to him a lot, and I talk to Alton too. But like today, like listening to you all in more depth and really hearing the sincerity of why you all do what you do. Not just for STS, but just in life. Period. I really am super full, like really, really full. No cap at all. Can I say that? Is that how you say it? No cap? My daughter be proud.
Yeah, no cap.
No cap.
But last, I want everybody to be able to connect with you all. So tell us, where do we go? How do we sign up? I want to be a volunteer. I want to follow you all so I can see the work you're doing. I want to donate, to my listeners. We want to, feed into the mission. So tell us how we can do that.
I think one to start with, we got a motto in saying, man, make excellence the norm. So before you volunteer, before you give any money, before you do anything, we really just want you to make excellence the norm in your life. To do everything in your ability, to do everything to your best to do this in everything you do. Whether it's cook, whether it's your household, whether it's your marriage, whether it's your job, whether it's your nonprofit, whether it's your business, whether it's to your kids. Like, just make excellence the norm. Like, make it a norm to do everything to your best abilities. From a STS standpoint, you can follow us on our social media channels, STS Enterprise, on both Instagram and Facebook. And our website is www.stsenterprise.org. You can definitely check out our website there. We got tons of video, tons of content. They can literally show you what we do on a day-to-day basis. And there's also a link on there where you can contact us to let us know how you want to get engaged, want to get involved, and so forth. Jim?
Nah, man, I'm just grateful, man. Auntie let us on the platform, man, and man, this lady got greatness inside of her. Like, man, greatness, like is natural for her. Like, I think, man, y'all got access to one of the best leaders, authentic leaders, that's out here, so. Auntie, kudos to you for the Greater You Leadership Series. Mm-hmm. I already done seen the results of the class. I done had people tell me I ain't gonna say no names, but like, hey man, this class way better than fill in the blank. I'm like, yeah, I told y'all she that right there for real. So man, Auntie, just kudos to you for doing what you're doing, letting God use you. And I can't wait till the world see what Kristen Webb has to offer, man, because you most definitely, you just getting started. And I can't wait to just be along for the journey, man, to be that big cheerleader. So,
because you're going to be there. You can't go.
Oh, yeah, I'm pulling up.
You know. You too.
Look, I'm pulling up. Like, what's
up?
Look, I'm pulling up. Like, man, y'all better put some respect on my auntie name.
Right,
Look, she out here.
Well, thank you, listeners. Y'all please go check them out. You know, I can appreciate Alton, like you said, get yourself in order first, be excellent all the time, then come holler at SCS. But I love it. You know, you're motivating people in every second of the day. So you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I look forward to, you know, people listening in, and thank you.
Man, thank you. We appreciate you.
All right.
Man, appreciate it, auntie.